Do you know what the Pantone color of 2025 is going to be? I didn't either, but turns out it's Mocha Mousse. So we're going to do a Mocha Mousse inspired makeup tutorial for this Nikki Uncut. That means you're going to see the entire blending process, all the ins and outs, and everything I'm choosing to create this hopefully spot-on Mocha Mousse inspired glam. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, the Pantone color of the year is launched every year at the end of the year for that coming year. So for 2025, they have chosen, I don't know who they are, but they have chosen Mocha Mousse. I'll insert a photo of Mocha Mousse somewhere right here, or Mitchwell, maybe bop, and then bop. So Mocha Mousse, now you have a good visual of what it's going to hopefully look like. And again, it's inspired. It's not going to be exact, but I'm going to get as close to Mocha Mousse as possible. And just saying Mocha Mousse over and over again has made me really crave something chocolatey and sweet. So, you know, we should get this party started so I can actually go out and get something chocolatey and sweet, which for me is usually some kind of like chocolatey coffee drink. It sounds amazing. I'm gonna scoot my chair forward just a little bit and we're gonna dive right into this glam. First things first, I want to do my eyes first because I want to get in there and I want to blend and I want to be a little bit messy and I don't want to worry about my base. So we're going to tackle the base in just a bit. I have concealer under my brows and on my eyes to start this party. And it's something I typically do just to kind of save a little bit of time, especially for these Nikki Uncut videos. As you know, like I said, they're pretty much not cut. So try to save us a little bit of time and energy. So I'm going to prime my eyes now with the Merit. This is the Solo Shadow in Vachetta, something like that. And I figured this would be a really great base for this Mocha Mousse inspired glam. It's going to be a nice, pretty neutral earth tone, which is going to allow me to really picture what I need to put on top. So I'm going to apply this all over with my N16 brush and really like get it everywhere. So I'm going to bring it out towards the temple. I'm going to bring it around the inner part of my nose where it connects to the bridge of my nose and just get it all over like that. I'm trying to remember what color was for 2024. I think it was like a peachy color if I'm not mistaken, or maybe that was 2023. It very well could have been. But if you remember the Pantone color of 2023, or 2024, excuse me, or that one too. If you remember the last 2 years of the Pantone color of the year, leave them in the comments below. Even though as soon as I'm done with this video, I'm going to end up Googling it and finding out my own, but still. If you know and if you follow that, let me know. And also, have you ever followed it to the extent where it dictates your wardrobe, your you know, like your personal style, your interior of your house? It has not for me, but I will say if there's one color that's going to get me, it's going to be Mocha Mousse because I love brown, any kind of shade, any kind of variation of brown, you name it, I love it. We're going to bust out something very different. This is actually from my Pro Kit that is for once sitting very close by to me. I could say hi to it from here. Hi. My Pro Kit's in my studio right now because I'm going to be tackling completely revamping it for the upcoming year. And just restocking things, redoing it, taking stuff out. I talked about this briefly in another Nikki Uncut, but taking stuff out, adding in new products, new tones, just new things. I just like to revamp it every single year. So right now I'm using my N13 brush. And I want to do kind of like a monochromatic almost Mocha Mousse look. So I want to do a lot of just like one tone, but variations all over the eye. And very blown out and diffused. So kind of like one color just kind of cascading all over. So I'm taking my N13, I'm dipping into this soft, hopefully coming across Mocha Mousse style shade. And we're just using this all over that Merit base. It's gonna look messy for a minute, but don't you worry. And the good thing about using a brush like this is I can lay it flat, pick up a whole bunch of product on one side of it, and then use that flat part of the brush to just pack on one shade. I also do this, of course, with my N16 brush, but that was the last clean one that I had in my possession for the time being until I clean my brushes. And I have been dreading cleaning my brushes like no other lately. I think I just have like a little bit of, I know I'm experiencing a little bit of borderline burnout between juggling work and YouTube, planning, filming, uploads, editing, all that good stuff. And then on top of it, trying to be a good wife and a good friend and a good sister and daughter and all that kind of stuff. So it's been a lot happening. I feel like we all feel that during the holidays, but it's really hit me hard this year for some reason. Same brush. Now let's dive into the shade that's right below it. So it's a little bit deeper, and we're just going to keep layering until we're getting the vibe, you know, the Mocha Mousse vibe. But I do think this was a really good palette for this particular makeup look, so I'm happy that I thought to pull this out of my kit and use it. The one thing I will say about Viseart, and I don't even think I named the palette. I am so sorry if I didn't. I assumed you know what this palette was. It's very old school. Very, very old school. It's been around for a long, long time. It's the Viseart Warm palette. That's all it's pretty much called. Yeah. It's all matte, and it's the Warm palette. They also have a neutral palette, I believe, as well as a couple others. But the Warm palette was like a staple for makeup artists for a while. So now we have a good gradation of color, but still really soft and blended out. So get a little more warm compared to my top, but you know, think inspired once again. Not exact, but definitely inspired. And I probably will be doing a ton of Mocha Mousse inspired makeup looks, to be honest. Just because this color story is just so up my alley. One of Mitch and I's biggest jokes when we were first dating is that I loved everything brown. Everything, like if I had a color choice for whatever it was always brown. I'll take the brown one. I like brown. And he always thought it was the funniest thing. He was like, brown? Everything you like is brown. I'm like, yeah. And now we crack up because as we're trying to buy furniture and trying to do some like home renovation stuff, we're moving in a little bit, in case you missed that. But we're moving and we're trying to do like home renovations and plan out things. Mitch is doing all the heavy work, all the work pretty much himself. And now he is sending me inspirations that are all like very brown, like very, very brown, and you know, variations of brown tones. And we were laughing so much because it's like I really rubbed off on him, basically. Okay, that looks pretty. That's really pretty. I'm really happy with that. We're gonna put this down for a quick second. And I'm gonna grab one of my all-time favorite eyeliners. I picked up a new one just recently. I finally restocked it. This is Costa Riche eyeliner from MAC Cosmetics. And man, if you don't have this shade of eyeliner, I hate to say this, but you really are missing out. I need a mirror, so hold please. And I also need a new chair because my chair is squeaking like no other. So Costa Riche, I'm going to do a straight across liner. So I'm going to angle my pencil and tightly drag this across my lash line. I want this to be nice and tapered, but again, going all the way across my eye. And you can see I have my good old pinky on my chin, which offers a lot of stability. So if you don't have a steady hand, I feel you. Just find a place to stabilize your hand. Lay your pencil on its side. Don't go in directly. And just drag it across. And you'll get a really nice smooth blend and glide if you do it that way. Switching my angle a few times back and forth, so I can manipulate the shape like that. Now, of course, we are going to blend this out and we're going to set it with some powder eyeshadow. but it's important to get that initial shape where you want it roughly before you lock it into place and it's, you know, it's there to stay. Pretty. I'm going to move pretty quickly because I want to do one eye at a time. So I'm going to go back to the Viseart Warm Palette. I'm going to take a clean N11 brush. Thankfully, I have a clean one. We're going to dip into this dark, rich, mocha-y chocolate brown. And just stamp this close to the lash line. And blend it out. This will lock it into place. So if you're someone who has itchy, watery, allergy-prone eyes, and you're using a pencil that's an eye kohl, and eye kohls are very runny, or they can be. They're not long-wearing necessarily at all unless you set them, so if you want your eyeliner to really stay put and not get runny or smudgy, make sure you lock it into place. Okay, very happy with that. I think that looks really pretty. Back to Costa Riche, and let's do the same exact technique. We're going to lay it on its side, bring it all the way in to this little corner, which I rarely do, but I'm kind of feeling it for this look. Switch my angle. Drag it across. Connect it a little bit on the bottom. I feel like Mocha Mousse inspired makeup is going to be so flattering on everyone. Like there's not one person that won't look so beautiful in this kind of, these tones and these beautiful like mocha inspired hues. They're so flattering. They're so beautiful on. So same technique. Going right in with that dark brown from the Viseart palette again and the N11 and stamping it on and kind of blending it out. I love these tones so much. I wish my whole house looked like this, and it probably will eventually. No, I'm just kidding. I also love black and white. Like my color stories are very neutral, but vintage. So I love black and white. My dream is to have like a black and white, old school, big checkered tile floor. It's been my dream my entire life, honestly, as an adult, to have that kind of aesthetic and that kind of look for whatever house I'm in. So anyway, let's go add some mascara and let's see where we're at with the eyeliner. We might do some other things and some like minor tweaks, but for now I'm going to add some mascara. This is the L'Oreal Panorama mascara. I just opened up a whole new pack of this and I'm so happy to have this back. My favorite drugstore mascara of 2024, hands down. Such an amazing formula. So getting right in there, kind of blinking on the wand, like that. Huge difference. You know, just a huge difference. It makes such a huge difference just to add mascara. Like brings my eyes to life. Do you feel that way? I feel like mascara is one of those non-negotiables for a lot of people when I talk to you guys in the community in terms of like what can you not leave the house without. And a lot of you, I feel like, have to have mascara. Not bad. Now, I do want to add a few lashes. I've just been feeling like lashes lately. You know, it comes in waves, I will say. For clients and when I'm working on set, when I work with just, you know, private clients and stuff like that, when I'm doing their makeup, lashes are pretty much a non-negotiable. Everyone wants lashes. I don't have one client that doesn't request lashes. I'm using my tweezers from MAC, by the way. I'm just going to pull some of these off the container, dip into the glue, and just plop a few on right on top of my lashes. For me, this just adds some more density to my lashes, which I really like. But I was saying lashes kind of come in waves for me. Either I'm really into them, I'm really like loving the look of them, I'm really reliant on them for a makeup look, or there's times where I just don't use them at all and I don't miss them. Right now, I am definitely in a lash phase. And if you already know, I talk about these all the time, but they're my favorites from Amazon. They're $7 a pack. And it may not show like a lot on camera, but it's one of those things where in person, you really see the impact. It's subtle, but you know, a lot of good makeup is more subtle. And this is one of those subtle things that just really completes a look. Adding a few more. I'm doing about 3 on each side and that's it. So nothing too dramatic, nothing too crazy at all. Looking into your mirror to do this is the best way to get these on. And I try to keep my eyes looking pretty straightforward. I try not to look down too much. I feel like it's easier for me to look just straight into the mirror, so I might be blocking your view a little bit. But there we go. Not too bad. I've linked to this glue before many times, but it's my favorite one. It's the Duo Lash Adhesive. This one is so good. Put these away. We are done with lashes for a minute. Let me check out where they landed. Not too bad. Not too bad. Now I'm going to grab some micellar water, excuse me, and a pointed Q-tip because we need to clean up the wings just a bit. So one of my favorite micellar waters, I use this all the time. I just restocked this one. It's the Garnier Micellar Cleansing Water. It has hyaluronic acid in it. It's very soothing. So I take a pointed Q-tip, I dip straight in. I also get these on Amazon. I've linked them before, but I'll try to remember to link them in this video as well. And then you just want to clean up like that. Doing pretty good. We are doing pretty good. Let's chill out on the eyes for a second. Let's get the foundation on. Let's get a good idea of what the makeup is looking like. And then we'll move on if we need to add more of the eyes, which we probably will. At least to the bottom lash line for sure. We'll go back to it once the rest of the base makeup is on because we'll have a better roadmap to guide us. Huda Beauty Easy Blur. Am I running low on this already? So I wear the shade Macaroon. This is 230 Neutral. I'm going to grab a clean N17 brush. Dip into the foundation and start in the center of my face where I need the most coverage and then just feather it out as we go. I'm really in love with the eyes, I have to say. Really love the way they look. If you plan on recreating a Mocha Mousse makeup look, doesn't have to be this one. If it is this one, great. Tag me in it. If you post about it, send me a picture. I'd love to see it. And I also love this foundation. It's just so easy to work with, in my opinion. I have had a few people reach out recently and ask me how I make it work. And I'm like, well, how do you not make it work? I feel like it's such an easy foundation to make work. That's why I like it so much. But apparently I know some of you have had a hard time with it containing niacinamide, and I totally get that. Niacinamide is an active ingredient, which this has niacinamide in it if you didn't know. And that could be a little irritating, or it could trigger certain things for sensitive skin types. So I definitely understand that. But my hope is that it works for a majority of you because it's a really beautiful foundation that wears a beautiful amount of time, stays put really well, and it just looks like skin. The one thing I will say about it is I don't feel like it's this ultra blurring foundation. I think it's just a really beautiful, nice, smoothing satin finish. So layering a bit more, getting nice and even. I'm excited for the blush combination that I have for this video that I have planned out. I'm really hoping that the way I picture it is going to be the way I want it to turn out. Like, I hope it turns out the way I envision it, because I envision it to be a very soft Mocha Mousse type blush combo, and I'm really, really excited to see if my dreams are going to be a reality with this. Okay. Foundation is looking good. I'm feeling nice and even. I had my usual skin prep underneath, which is, I'm actually trying out a new vitamin C. And then I have my Paula's Choice SPF 50 sunscreen on top. So I always wear foundations on top of sunscreen. Okay. Foundation looks great. Feeling confident with it. We're going to bronze up. We're going to do it in light layers. This is the Makeup by Mario Soft Sculpt Serum Bronzer. I love using the doe foot. This is the shade medium. And it's very quick and very convenient. So I like to just kind of swipe across my forehead. And again, it's very, very thin. So if you don't like a thick feeling when you're using a bronzer, this is one to check out. And you can either build it up to be more intense by layering it, or keep it nice and natural. I even like it as a lip contour as well. But the doe foot is really where it's at. I do have one of these in my pro kit, and I just use the pump to pump out the product on a painter's palette, and it works really well too. Now I'm going to use the back side of my N17. I actually really like to use the back side of my N17, believe it or not. I know I tell you all the time that's for powder, but you can definitely use it for liquids as well. These brushes are synthetic through and through. So there's no real fibers, no real animal hairs in these brushes, which means that if you want to, if you were in a pinch or if you want to experiment, which I really encourage with all your makeup brushes, not just mine, but just makeup brushes in general, experiment with them. But it means, long story short, that you can use them for all formulas, liquids, powders, creams, and all that jazz. So don't be afraid. You're not doing anything wrong if you use the backside for liquids as well. Get in there, get creative, play with your tools, and just have fun. So patting this product in, I just think it melts into the skin really easily, and it maintains the intensity, which is still very light. So nice. Now I am going to layer in some more because I like to work in like light layers with this product. So more on my forehead for sure. And let's just do a little jaw. I don't typically do my jaw. Partially because there is a shadow that comes down. My light is above me. So it creates a shadow anyway, so it already gives the illusion of like a contoured jawline, which thank you, Mitch, for, you know, hooking it up with that placement. I really appreciate you. But that's why you really don't see me contour my jaw most of the time. Another big reason is I wear a lot of high neck tops and I just don't want to get makeup on my clothing. But for today, let's do it. Just adds a soft contoured effect. Like that. You see that shadow? So that's why you never really see me contour my jaw. I got a built-in one right here, built-in contour. Okay, let's tap in the rest of this Makeup by Mario. By far one of my favorite products of 2024 was this from Makeup by Mario. This and his powder that he launched, unbelievable, perfection. Absolute perfection. If you're a brunette, make sure you get your bronzer into your hairline. If you're blonde or if you have gray or light hair, be careful not to get it too much into your light hair because it's so hard to get makeup out of light hair. I have a lot of blonde clients, and when I get makeup in their hair, I kind of want to die because that's so dramatic, but it is so hard to get makeup and bronzer, especially out of blonde hair. Like, if you know what I'm talking about, you know what I'm talking about. It's like a struggle. Well, look how pretty that is. Ah, I feel so much better. All right, I'm just gonna gently tap in my lip. Great, feeling good about that. Now I need to grab a color corrector because my under eyes are very red lately. When are they not? But this is the Cali Ray Hideaway Concealer Brightener / color corrector extraordinaire. Fantastic product. If you have redness in your skin like I do under your eyes, this is a great way to reduce that. So I'm going to kind of color correct first. I'm tapping this in with my N14 brush, reducing a lot of that redness, and then we'll go over it with a concealer. And I have a new concealer that I'm really loving. As of the past week, I've been testing this concealer out, and I've really been enjoying it. And it's funny because you guys have been telling me to try this for a while. I finally got around to it, and I can happily report that you guys were so right. But before I get into the concealer, I'm actually gonna do a little bit of under blushing. This is a Huda Beauty blush filter. This is a shade Latte, and it is so unbelievably beautiful. Huda crushed it with this shade. It is so stunning. And I'm gonna do something different. Let me grab the new 116 brush from BK Beauty. I am obsessed with this brush size, shape, and the way it works with blush products, bronzer products. It is fantastic. So just tapping this in nice and gently. Now I started very sparingly with that blush, as you can probably tell. So I'm actually gonna probably layer a little bit more. I never know how intense this is going to go on. But turns out I still need more. So a couple dots just like that. Tapping it in with the 116. And if you don't know, in case you missed it, this is a new brush from BK Beauty that they just launched recently as part of another core collection trio set. This is such a great size. It's like the smaller version of the 106 brush, which you know I love. So kind of bring this up around my temple like that. And just very mindfully layering these products. Oh, I love the eyes. I really love the eyes so much. I hope you guys recreate this look. I really do. If you do, again, please post it, share it, tag me. I have been really into kind of filling in my temples, so to speak, with blush recently. I have in case you can't notice, I have very hollow temples, and it's something that gets more and more hollow as I get older. Joy. Love it. It's so fun. But no, I'm just kidding. I really appreciate my age, and I appreciate every day on earth. But I get more and more hollow in my temples, and so I find, and this is something I've done with a couple of clients too who also have very hollow temples, I find that if you just lightly fill it in and use at least a small amount, not a ton, but like a small amount of blush in this area, it's kind of like color correction. It fills in that hollow. It fills in that darkness and that shadow, which is the hollow creates. So little makeup artist tip in case you need it. Okay, now we can dive into the concealer that I was just teasing you about. It's the YSL All Hours Precise Angles Concealer. I have the shade Light Neutral 4, LN4. I'll make sure I link it and tag it, all those things. Pretty big doe foot, which I don't mind. And the consistency of it is a lot thinner than what you would typically find that I like on my channel. I usually like a slightly thicker texture, or as Marlene Estelle says, viscosity. I feel like that is Marlene Estelle's word. So slightly thicker in texture or viscosity, and I like that kind of feeling for my concealer because I want more coverage, and usually the thicker means the more coverage you're going to get. But I will say this is a lighter weight texture, a lot thinner, and it still gives really great coverage while feeling and looking super duper flawless. So I really am liking this concealer. If you've tried this one and you have thoughts on it, please leave that in the comments below. And if you're one of my subscribers that told me to get this a while ago, tell me so I can thank you. Because I always appreciate you guys and your solid recommendations. Because even with all the products that I try out there, because I try so many, you know, I try so many products on a regular basis on my channel. Even with that, let's use the A506, by the way, from the Holy Grail set. Even at that, I still miss out on products. It's just, you know, I can't try them all, I guess, but I try, but I still end up missing quite a few. So if there's ever recommendations and products you really, really want me to try, always leave them in the comments of a video. It's the best way for me to see it. And don't be shy. So I'm tapping this in. Getting a little bit of a highlight going on as well. But I don't want to cover up that blush placement in the temples too much. So we're going to be very careful with how we blend that out. Blending out that little highlight in the forehead. Pushing the product in around my nose to maintain all that coverage because I really need it there. And what I'll do is I'll go back and layer a bit more blush in this area as well. Let's go back to that 116 brush. Kind of melt in the rest of those harsh edges. Let's get a little bit over here. Looking good. Looking real good. Feeling confident. I'm going to grab that same N16 and just blend out these edges. Like that. Really happy with the color choice, by the way, that I picked out with this YSL concealer. LN4 has been such a great concealer shade for me under my eyes, and also to brighten and to highlight certain areas like you just saw me do. So now that we have that on, I believe that's our last liquid for this Mocha Mousse tutorial. So now we're going to start powdering. So I'm going to use the Makeup by Mario Surreal Skin Soft Blur Setting Powder in the shade Fair Pink. A staple in my life. I'm going to go back to my N14 brush. This is my preferred way to set my under eyes. I'm going to tap into the cap, tap off the excess, press into the inner corner of my under eyes, and then tap in to lock it all into place. I do like a little extra powder and refinement right here, so I'm going to just layer more powder there. We're going to go above the brows. I get really shiny throughout the day right here. Here we go. And I get really shiny around the side of my mouth. So a little extra powder is very much needed. Same thing, lightly locking in my under eye concealer. Another note too is the Makeup by Mario powder sits so nice and so beautifully throughout the day on top of that YSL All Hours concealer. It's a really good combination. A bit more in this area once more, just to match that up. I usually leave my nose pretty shiny, but I like to powder the sides heavily because that's where I get the most oily. Shine down the bridge of the nose is really cute, keeps it really fresh, gives it a nice balance between being not super matte and not super oily looking. So now I'm going to add a powder blush. I've been waiting to put this in a tutorial, and this is the perfect perfect opportunity for this blush to really shine, in my opinion. This is the Bacon Cakes shade from Fenty Beauty. It's the soft suede, or suede powder blush, excuse me. So that's the blush shade, very Mocha Mousse inspired, very perfect for this tutorial. So I'm gonna grab my N15 brush, dip into that blush. I like to always pre-blend a bit with this shade and with this formula. It's actually pretty intense as far as the pigment, it's very pigmented. And I like to pre-blend on my hand just as a safe measure, and then tap in light layers. And I'm bringing this up towards the temple again, just like I did with the liquid Mocha Mousse, for sure. Hopefully you agree. This is such a great blush color in general. I talked about this a lot, but this is a really great blush shade if you're doing a red lip, because it's understated, it's neutral, it blends in with the background, it's not too punchy or too neon, and it lets a red lip or more dramatic lip really be the star of the show. We're not exactly going dramatic with our lip, but we are going somewhat impactful. It's not going to be a nude. It's going to be really pretty. All right, let's just fill these bad boys in. Get them nice. Much better. So much better. Try this technique. If you try it and it helps you, and if you're a hollow temple girly like me, let me know if it helps you out. With whatever's left over, I'm going to sweep it across my nose just a bit. Very cute. And now we're going to bump up the bronzer and lock that liquid bronzer into place just a little bit. I'm going to grab one of my favorite bronzers. It's from Hourglass. It's the Diffuse Bronze Light. And the BK Beauty 104 brush, always staple in my life with bronzer. So dipping into this beautiful soft bronzer, we're just going to dust lightly to set the forehead. Not applying too much, but just enough to enhance a bit more, add more of a mocha-y vibe. And then a little bit, yes, with this big brush, it's totally fine. Was it tickled? Just for like some soft bronzing on the nose. Just like that. I love a good bronze nose. Not so much contour, but like a nice bronze nose is like my thing. Okay, let me wipe off my hand. We're gonna do a little bit more in terms of like the eyes. I'm gonna grab that Costa Riche liner one more time from MAC. We're gonna finish the bottom lash line and then we're gonna move on to the lips. So we're tight lining with Costa Riche. We're applying it inside the waterline and then just gently and very closely into my actual lashes. Like that. Very pretty. Very mocha-y. Now I have a feeling this might look a little too red on camera, so I'm actually going to diffuse it a bit. I'm going to add Tiramisu from Sephora Collection. Just to tone down the redness a little bit on the inside. We'll leave the bottom just Costa Riche. Sometimes Costa Riche can pull really red and orange on camera. In person it's really pretty, but on camera I'm noticing it looks a little too red. So adding that just to kind of tone it down temperature wise. Now we're gonna go back to Viseart, okay? And let me grab, let's see what I got. I don't have a clean N12 brush left in my stack of brushes, so we're gonna grab the BK Beauty 204 brush, very similar, and dip into that same tone that we tried, or that we applied, excuse me, all over the base of our eyes at the beginning of this tutorial. And we're going to use this to blend out and diffuse the liner just like that. This is a great technique to utilize just like we did on the top lash line, because I did use that kohl liner from MAC and those are not long wearing. They run, they smudge, they do all those things. So especially if you're going to use a kohl on the bottom lash line in the waterline, by applying a shadow pretty heavily right below it, it's going to stop it from running. Nice. Nice, nice. I did a look like this, by the way, recently on one of my clients. I'll try to post it when I remember. But she's blonde, so she's got very different features and stuff than me. She's got lighter eyes and everything like that, but it looked so pretty on her. She was wearing a brown dress and it looked so gorgeous. Going back to L'Oreal, we're gonna add one more coat to blend my lashes in with the falsies. Always something I recommend you do. Just so there's no separation between the two. You kind of want to scoop your lashes up into the fake ones, so they're just nice and seamless. Very nice. Okay. Got a little clump right there. Okay, so we have a few more things, just a few more things. Now, I should have used this for my bronzer, and I wasn't thinking clearly, but I'm going to use my Hourglass Dragon palette. I spent a lot of money on this palette, and I want to use it a lot, and it's also just a beautiful, beautiful palette. So I'm actually going to take the back side of my N17, same one we used earlier. I kind of wiped off the excess product, and I'm going to dip into both of these highlighters. I'm just going to sweep into both like this. This bottom one is a lot more intense, and the top one is a lot more soft and diffused, more like a candlelit kind of glow. And we're going to place this right there. Do you see that? Oh, it's so pretty. Such a gorgeous highlighter. Same thing, we're gonna hit the top of my nose and the very tip of my nose. If you go too heavy, push it in. With your fingertip. Oh, that's stuck like glue, my friends. Was not prepared for that. Okay, that's better. Let's go back, add some more blush. All right, now guess what time it is? Time to add a little bit of pizzazz to the inner corner of the tear duct. I'm going to use the Armani Liquid Shadow. This just has the number on it, but I'll make sure I link this exact shade and the name of it, but it's 67S, basically. I'm going to take an Angie Hahn Flashy A504, run that onto the little doe foot that has the product on it, and we're going to sweep this right there. Ooh. It's like just what I needed. The look is still primarily matte on the eyes, but adding that little bit of wet sparkle, forget about it. It's one of my favorite techniques ever. It's like a little halo, like going zing, open up my eyes. This is such a great product. I love this product so much. All right, for lips, I'm very excited for lips. I'm very hopeful that it's going to come out more Mocha Moussey and not something else. So we're going to go with the Laura Mercier Brown Toll Caviar Perfecting Lip Liner and line our lips first. So like that. Now we're gonna feather in just a teeny bit. I can hear my dog snoring. So loud. Okay. Very pretty lip liner shade. Now I'm gonna do one thing because I wanna lock it in a bit more. So I don't wanna have any feathering of this lip liner shade. So I'm gonna take a little bit of Makeup by Mario and the same N14 brush and just hit certain areas of the liner and dust off that excess powder. Tickle my nose. Go back to the blush brush just a bit. These are like those finishing touches that just melt the makeup into place. Now for lipstick, again, really hope this captures the Mocha Mousse vibe. I'm really hoping this is gonna be the ticket to that. It's the YSL Love Shine, right? Love Shine. They changed the name of this so many times. The YSL Love Shine in the shade, oh God, it doesn't have it on there, but I'll make sure I link it. Don't worry. It says 204 on the back. It has like a name like caramel something, I believe. This is the actual color. It is so pretty. They're glossy and balmy. And let's see if this is going to get us that look. I'm very happy with it. Are you happy with it? What do you think? I'm very happy with the way that turned out. I think this is really pretty. I am loving this Mocha Mousse inspired makeup look. Definitely more to come for this Pantone color of the year. I'm definitely gonna do some more looks inspired by it, but for now, this is our first attempt, and I'd say it was pretty good. I'd say it's a pretty solid attempt at the Mocha Mousse Pantone color of the year. Very inspired by it, as I have been for a long, long time. I love anything brown, like I mentioned in the earlier in the video. But leave me a comment. Let me know what you think of this look. Let me know if you're gonna try anything Mocha Mousse inspired for 2025. And I hope you enjoy this. Here's one more look at the finished glam. I love the lip. I'm so happy about that. Okay, to finish this makeup look really quick, I had to go run off camera and grab my jacket. So if I cut, I'm so sorry. But I actually bought this leather jacket just recently, and I feel like it's perfect for the Mocha Mousse tutorial. So I actually have to go run out and do a whole bunch of things. So this will be my outfit of the day. I hope you enjoyed this Mocha Mousse inspired tutorial. Leave me a comment, let me know if you did, and if you recreate it, tag me because I would love to see it. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next Nikki Uncut. Bye.